my friends, we are back. It's day 2, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Let's go. Now let's move on to the 60s rock and roll scene. So right over here, we're gonna tackle the London, Liverpool scene. Some great bands out of there. You can already see Herman's Hermits, Yardbirds. So that dress right there belongs to Petula Clark. Now this suit right here belonged to Bobby Elliott of the Hollies. Now that jacket up there was Ringo's jacket when he was in the Beatles. And then below we have a guitar here that was Dave Davies from the Kinks. And then here we have a signed Yardbirds drumhead. Really historic band. I mean, we got a lot of the greatest rock and roll guitarists of all time out of that band. And we have Dusty Springfield's jacket right here. And then that's Jerry's jacket from Jerry and the Pacemakers. Gotta love that Wayne's World joke. So right over here you can see we've got the Herman's Hermit drum head and something signed up here by Peter Noon, the lead singer of Herman's Hermits. And then over here we have Mike Smith of the Dave Clark 5 outfit. And they have a picture of him going crazy wearing this outfit. Now we can leave 1966 and move into San Francisco's Haight-Ashbury scene. Now it kind of starts with the Charlatans. So they have the Medicine Show poster up there. We have George Hunter of the Charlatans outfit here, the hat and the jacket and everything. And then those are also George's glasses. And then over here you can see George's tambourine and his auto harp right there with the rest of his outfit. Now this trench coat's kind of cool because that belongs to Ralph Gleason. He was like a music critic in San Francisco at the time, and he was like one of the early people that was behind this music movement. So he gets a lot of credit for that, and they have his trench coat in here on display. He was covering like all those parties and the acid tests and all that stuff. That's him. And then of course you can't talk about Haight-Ashbury without talking about this guy, Bill Graham. He was really the guy that petitioned to have the club that could have these kind of bands perform there, the dance hall. And there's a copy of his notice of application. Now these are kind of cool, these two hand-carved instruments, the bass and the guitar over here. They were Quicksilver Messenger Service. It was their instruments. Those are pretty cool. Really detailed too. And then that's John Cipollina's outfit, or his costume from Quicksilver Messenger Service. The rifles, the shirt, the hat, all that stuff. And then you can see on either side of them the rock and roll posters from that time. All San Francisco Bill Grahams. Nice rifles. Now I noticed these denim shirts. This one is Don Stevenson from Moby Grapes. I love Moby Grape. Skip Spence and Moby Grape, definitely worth checking out. And then that is David LaFlamme of It's a Beautiful Day shirt. Then you can see the cover of their album up here for It's a Beautiful Day. See if we can get the light out of your way. Now that crazy colorful looking bass isn't from Cream, which is what I immediately thought. It's actually it's Peter Albans from Big Brother and Holding Company, which was Janis's band. So then of course right below his bass, they have some of her scarves here, as well as some of her beaded necklaces, her glasses. It's kind of cool. She's known for those beaded necklaces, so that's, in a weird way, that's kind of one of the coolest things to see here is some of that kind of stuff.
Are these young people just showing their ideas?
Now as we move on, you can see this jacket is from Santana. It's David Brown's Santana vest, and then some of the handwritten lyrics from Santana. And then that guitar belongs to Jack Cassidy from Jefferson Airplane. As well as these crazy looking boots, those are also his from Jefferson Airplane. And then Jorma's jacket from Jefferson Airplane. And that's Jack's jacket from Jefferson Airplane. And way early on, I think it was like Vlog 100 or something like that, I took a road trip to San Francisco and I went to where their house was, quote unquote the Black House. And then these flutes are also Jorma's from Jefferson Airplane. Oh wow, that is holy right there. That is Pigpen's banjo from the Grateful Dead. Pigpen was who Jerry Garcia himself called the heart and soul, the lifeblood of the Grateful Dead. The most talented member of the Grateful Dead, in fact, he said he was like a natural leader, so that's why they would always like pump him to make him sing, because he didn't have the self-confidence, but they all knew he was by far the most interesting member of the band. And actually, the more I look at it, I notice it's like a mandolin banjo. It's got 8 tuning pegs on there, so it's 8 strings. And then these lyrics are pretty cool. They're donated by Robert Hunter, the lyricist for the Grateful Dead. The ones on the left were actually written by Pigpen, but the ones on the right are the lyrics from Truckin'. One of the original Grateful Dead posters and my all-time favorite, probably Grateful Dead shirt that I ever owned. So all these Western Union telegrams are confirmations from Lou Adler saying that like John Phillips and all those people would be at the Monterey Pop Festival. He's confirming. Now we're leaving the Haight-Ashbury scene and we're moving on to the LA scene. Buffalo, Springfield, Graham Parsons, Fleetwood Mac, all those greats. Now right away you can see that drum head from the Seeds. Handmade, hand-painted. The Buffalo Springfield sign up there. And I believe this is David Crosby's parka. I think that's what you call him. His parka from Crosby, Stills and Nash. They're calling it a cape, but I recognized it because he's wearing it on the cover of the Turn, Turn, Turn album, and I love that album. That's cool. There's an original Birds poster over there playing the Fillmore. And then Buffalo, Springfield, and you over here. And then here we have some of Joni Mitchell's handwritten lyrics from the Palace Hotel. Oh, that's awesome to see this. That's Sneaky Pete Kleinow from the Flying Burrito Brothers jacket. That's part of his nudie suit. They all had them, and that's really cool because I've gotten to now see Graham's, Chris Hillman's, and now Sneaky Pete. And then that kind of interesting guitar is David Crosby's guitar. Check that out. And then here we have some of the handwritten lyrics from Neil Young. You can definitely tell that's who wrote these because not only does the sign say that, but you can see right down here the needle and the damage done. And I just noticed this top one is Heart of Gold, which I love. Now this pink dress was Cass Elliott's, Mama Cass from Mamas and the Papas. Pretty nice. Now these little note cards, those were Randy Newman's. He wrote God's Song on those little cards from his Sail Away album, which I love. And then right next to it they have his I Love LA sheet music. And then check out right there in the middle, that's a menu from the Troubadour. Now that's Jackson Browne's acoustic guitar. And then right next to it we have Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac, her dress. This is kind of funny. This is Timothy B. Schmidt from the Eagles hotel room key collection. Apparently he's a fan of lifting the hotel room keys. Look at that too. Those aren't small keys. And then this is Lowell George from Little Feat's guitar, as well as his Letterman jacket. It says Lowell. Onto the punk scene. Definitely the Misfits, definitely definitely Jerry Only, and definitely Jerry Only's bass. One of the cool things about those guys is that Jerry and his brother Doyle, I don't think Doyle's in the band for a while now, but they're brothers and they used to make their own stuff in their dad's shop. Now right next to the Misfits stuff is Joey Ramone's leather jacket from the Ramones, of course. And then below it you have Marky's drumsticks from the Ramones. You have Johnny's guitar with some guitar picks still attached to the top. And those are Tommy Ramone's sunglasses. And that is Dee Dee Ramone's bass, so they have something from all of them. And Sid Vicious from the Sex Pistols, Ramones shirt right there. The Sex Pistols chord chart for My Way. And then if you look over here on this blue hand, I don't know why they chose a blue hand with a blue background, but those are Sid Vicious Rings. Now that's kind of interesting. That is a telegram from Malcolm McLaren, who ran the shop called Sex that I vlogged in London, and he actually gave Sid Vicious his first job in his shop. It's a telegram to Sid Vicious' mother. And he was eventually the manager of the band. And then up here, that shirt and the pants and everything, that all belonged to Sid, who lived in the Chelsea Hotel and killed his girlfriend Nancy in that hotel room. And those are Sid's boots. They almost look like Peter Pan boots, don't they? Now that's kind of cool. That's the Clash set list. Your little notebook with the set list. And then this military jacket is Terry from the Clashes. This is kind of cool. Handsome Dick Manitoba from the Dictators. Wow. That is something, man. And then the New York Dolls drumhead. And then that is Sterling Morrison from Velvet Underground's guitar. Check out that Patti Smith cult hero doll. And then this hot pink outfit here is the New York Dolls, Sylvain Sylvain. And then right next to it, I never really got into the New York Dolls. I tried, I never really did much for me. But that's Iggy Pop's jacket up there. And then that's James Williamson's guitar from the Stooges. And that crazy sweater is Chris Stein from Blondie. And then that's Tina Weymouth from Talking Heads shirt. And of course the Talking Heads drumhead. And they're literally taking the curtains off this one now. We get the first sneak peek of the Soul Fame recording exhibit. So let's take a look. We've got the Fame Recording Studios sign right there. That's Curtis Mayfield's hat right there. That's pretty awesome, as well as his thin line Telecaster. Now that bass is Rick Hall's bass. He was the session bass player at Fame. And then check out the Sam and Dave sunglasses. Belonging to Sam Moore, Soul Man. Now that peacoat looking jacket, sweater right there, that was Otis Redding's. And this white leather jacket is Al Green. Al Green's jacket. Let's stay together. And then that is Wilson Pickett's jacket up there. Pretty fancy. That's Steve Cropper from, well, Fame Recording Studios, but he's also in the Blues Brothers and Booker T and the MGs and all that stuff. It's his electric guitar. So I'm kind of surprised to see, because normally I thought he always liked to play Telecasters. And then that bass guitar is Donald Duck Dunn, also from Booker T and the MGs and the Blues Brothers band. Now this tape recorder is Gamble and Huff's, which is awesome because they were a songwriting duo, and this is what they would use to make their demos on. Now that's Wilbur Hart of the Delphonics jacket, and this is the suit of Bobby Smith from the Spinners, and microphone. Now we're moving on to heavy metal, and I see some Angus stuff right there for those about to rock. How about a schoolboy uniform? So this double neck guitar that you see here that looks a lot like the one Elvis was pictured with in yesterday's video, that's Tom Kiefer from Cinderella's. And then of course all Van Halen fans know that that is Michael Anthony's Jack Daniels bass. Synonymous with that bass, man. And that bottle. Here we have some handwritten lyrics to Highway to Hell. And some of the AC/DC Money from Money Talks video, which I love. What a catchy song. So those lyrics are James Hetfield's handwritten lyrics for Whiplash. And then Sing This Rickenbacker bass is really cool for me because that's Cliff's. Cliff Burton, who was the original bass player in Metallica, and unfortunately they were on tour and their bus had an accident and Cliff died. And those crazy boots are Alice Cooper's boots. Now I recognize that guitar up top. That is donated by Slash. That's one of Slash's Gibsons. They ended up making a Slash model Gibson that looks exactly like this, with like a snake going up the fret. Now that black Gibson guitar is pretty amazing too, because that was Izzy from Guns N' Roses. He hasn't been in there since '92. Izzy Stradlin. That's pretty cool to see. He actually, his whole deal was he pretty much left the band because he never wanted to be in a popular band, and then once it got too popular, he's like, I'm out. Ronnie James Dio, Holy Diver sheet music. And here you can see one of Dimebag Darrell's guitars. I saw an interview with him, and he was saying that the reason that he played these guitars is because in the 80s, nobody wanted this style guitar. He said, I could just walk into a pawn shop and buy it for like $100 or $150. And he said, I would take it home, take the pickups and stuff out, make it my guitar. And he's like, since like nobody else was playing them, he said, I just decided then, since they were so cheap, that was just going to be my thing. And he always stuck with it. So even when he wasn't with Dean, and he was doing, he had Washburn and Dean make this same model guitar. And then this bass down here is Dave Ellefson from Megadeth. Wow. Rob Halford from Judas Priest Coat. That thing is intense. It's like a floor length. Then some Judas Rising lyrics. And that drum head belonged to Anthrax. Remember when there was an Anthrax threat and everything? I remember they changed their name for a brief time to, I think it was like a basket full of puppies or something like that, because they wanted to have a name that would never have a negative connotation to it. Now over here we're getting to my favorite type of stuff. We're getting to like the Built to Spill and the Melvins, a lot of the Seattle, the Pacific Northwest rock. Right there in the middle is Pearl Jam Mike McCready's smash guitar. No offense to the Melvins if they're watching this, but I saw the Melvins live one time at the Troubadour, and it was maybe the worst show I ever saw in my life, other than when Elliott Smith was strung out. And I remember after this show, my friend said, before he even asked me if I enjoyed the concert, he goes, dude, I'm so sorry. Every other album the Melvins make something experimental, and you really never know what they're going to play live, and I think we got one of those experimental concerts tonight. And here, this guitar is Chris Cornell's from Soundgarden. That Les Paul right there. And then over here is Mother Love Bone's guitar. Yeah, and you can't talk about this era of music without talking about Mother Love Bone, Andrew Wood. And then that's cool to see Built to Spill performing with Silkworm, because I love them both. Now there's a concert poster from when Neil Young was performing with Pearl Jam.
I didn't say anything, though, just read.
And then, that's cool, a rock and jock outfit. That's pretty crazy. I haven't thought about that in a while. It's Jerry Cantrell's from Alice in Chains. Remember when MTV used to do the rock and jock baseball games? I love those. And then down here we have Sean Kinney from Alice in Chains drumsticks. And I believe those pants also are part of Jerry Cantrell's baseball uniform that day, with the heart crotch made out of duct tape. And then Alice in Chains claymation dolls. Never could get into Alice in Chains personally, so I don't know if that was from a music video or what the deal was. Actually, it looks like, yeah, they were in the music video for I Stay Away in 1994. Oh, I've never seen that Nirvana in Utero poster. It's kind of cool. And unfortunately, it looks like Kurt Cobain's guitar is out on loan for some other exhibit right now. Look at that Nirvana demo tape. Are you kidding me? I never knew Nirvana performed with Screamin' Jay Hawkins. I would have loved to have seen that. I wonder if they put a spell on him. Oh, I can't wait to see this stuff. Oh yeah, total legend, Tom Petty's jacket. Look at that. Welcome to outer space, Tom. And then that is Madonna's top. Now this amazing getup is all John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin. Dude, he could dress. Heck yeah, man, look at that. All the way down to the guitar. The guitar is even stylish. Well, the bass, you know, still a guitar, but these guitars belong to Hall & Oates. It's kind of interesting. He definitely hand-painted that one. Here's an Allman Brothers Band exhibit. That's kind of cool. J-Mo's drum. Dickie Betts. Les Paul back there is gold top. Greg Allman's jacket. And of course, Greg's organ. Another amazing band, the Small Faces, fronted by Rod Stewart, with a great guitar player named Ronnie Wood. Eventually became a Rolling Stone. Here we have Chuck Berry's guitar. Now we are in the Rolling Stones Beatles room. Immediately I noticed this shirt in here that's tiny, and that was Keith Richards' shirt, 1975. That is Mick Jagger's stage suit, as you can tell, as well as this one. Now this one over here is Ronnie Wood's stage costume, and this jacket was Keith Richards. Oh, look at the road case. That's awesome. Look at all that first aid. You can see there's like extra microphones in there, drumsticks. It's kind of an all-purpose. Now this outfit over here was Nicky Hopkins. He was one of their keyboard players. And of course Charlie Watts snare drum. And definitely a Mick Jagger stage-worn outfit. And this over here is Keith Richards' stage-worn outfit. The 1980 Rolling Stones pinball machine. So this piano is from Jane Asher's house, the Asher family piano. And it said that, that the Beatles became in 1963 so popular that Paul couldn't play piano anywhere without causing a mob scene. So he moved in with his girlfriend Jane Asher, and this was the piano he would play on for the 3 years. And it says this piano was located in the basement that Lennon and McCartney composed some of their most iconic songs. I Want to Hold Your Hand, and I Loved Her, We Can Work It Out. Now let's wander over to the Beatles section. Here we have John Lennon's guitar, right over there, as well as, it looks like, his passport documents. A very young John Lennon, in fact. So these Beatles suits were, they're kind of unique because the Beatles were announced they were going to be the first pop band ever put in Madame Tussauds Wax Museum, and so these suits were specifically made for them to attend the opening of that. So this one is John Lennon's jacket, and this is Paul's full outfit from that day. And here we have John Lennon's Rickenbacker. Here we have a letter to the Beatles from Carl Perkins. Obviously one of their heroes. So these pages are from something called the Daily Howl, which was something that John Lennon used to do when he was a kid in grammar school. This little, basically a little mock newspaper that he created. And that is also one of John Lennon's guitars, one of his Epiphones, some of Ringo's drumsticks from 1964, then one of their tour posters. So this jacket was something that all four guys had the same matching outfits in 1966. And this was something that they got at Granny Takes a Trip in London, which was one of Hendrix's favorite places. They wore these on stage in Japan, and when they did their tour of the Far East in 1966. And then that is George Harrison's pinstripe suit, that gray suit. And they actually have a picture of him wearing it on stage. Let me show you.
Nice photos.
Oh yeah, definitely the same outfit. This is John's "You Are Here" shirt. He attended Robert Fraser Gallery's exhibition, and he released 365 balloons while wearing this shirt. Then here we have the handwritten lyrics for "Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds." Now that jacket is John Lennon's jacket, and they have a picture of him wearing the jacket right here. Jacket that he wore when they performed "All You Need Is Love." And then of course those are John's glasses. And this is John Lennon's Mellotron, the Mark II. It says he purchased this in 1965. Now let's see the Hendrix exhibit. This is Jimi Hendrix's personal studio soundboard. Sorry about the lighting in here. Wow, nice outfit. Some of Jim's guitars. Wow, that's so cool to see the guitars that he used to play. This one you can tell is still strung his way. It's got the low bass string on the bottom. So he flipped his guitars upside down to play them since he was left-handed. That's a pretty famous outfit. I've seen that one before. I've seen him wear that. I think I've actually seen this one in the museum in Seattle that was on display last year. They do have a picture of him wearing this. They have a lot of stuff in here of Jimmy, so we're not going to take a ton of time. His hat. Oh, that's a cool one. Crushed velvet bell bottoms and like a western top. And he was quite the artist when he was a kid. That's one of his drawings as a kid titled "Rock and Roll." That's another really famous one that he titled "Daddy Sleeping." There's one of his 1969 outfits. This is the double neck guitar that Jimmy used for "Axis Bold as Love." It says that he recorded Spanish Castle Magic on this. And then this is all the Doors. In fact, that's Jim Morrison's Cub Scout uniform. And look, they even have a picture of Jim Morrison wearing his little Cub Scout uniform with his Cub Scout troop. And this is just to the right of his Cub Scout uniform. It's a Christmas card that he made his parents when he was a little kid. A cool Yule. That's Robbie Krieger's sitar. Jim Morrison's jacket. It's the same jacket that he's wearing up here in this photo shoot. Look to the far left. And then we'll leave it here at the Cleveland Rocks section. There's a lot more to this museum, but I've already been here almost 3 hours and we can't do it all. That is Screamin' Jay Hawkins' cape. And of course, above they have Alan Freed's Summer Festival program, and that's the whole reason that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in Cleveland anyway, because of DJ Alan Freed calling it rock and roll. Oh, look up there, I love the Raspberries. That's another great band you should check out. This is all rock and roll. See here, Eric Carmen was in the Raspberries, and so here's some of his handwritten lyrics. You probably know Eric Carmen from the song All By Myself. But who doesn't love Devo? D-E-V-O, we are Devo. And then the Cramps right next to it. Look at that mask, that's great.
On March 21st, cemented
and then that gold vest is Bobby Womack's. I love his song that they use in Jackie Brown. And of course you gotta mention the Black Keys. Well, Lori Hilton, I hope you enjoyed our 2 days at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Thank you for being a Patreon. I'll be mailing out these sunglasses from the mystery spot to you very soon. And on that note, my friends, we are gonna call it a day. Thank you Bruce Smith, Roseanne Stone, Lori Harold, Diane Buchanan, Claire, Michelle Basta, and David Posthumus for becoming my newest Patreons. Hope you all enjoyed the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't know how often I'll come back here, but let's all hope that someday they treat the artists that make this place worth visiting the way they deserve to be treated. Have a great night, everyone. Goodbye.